Hello, I'm Madonna Louise Veronica Sacconi. Born on August 16, 1958, in Bay City, Michigan, I came into this world as the third of 6 children in a big, loud, Italian-French Catholic family. My father, Silvio Tony Sacconi, was a first-generation Italian-American engineer working for Chrysler Defense and later General Dynamics, strict, disciplined, a man who believed in hard work and rules. My mother, Madonna Louise Fortin, was a beautiful French-Canadian X-ray technician and former dancer who named me after herself. Everyone called me Little Nani to avoid confusion. We lived first in Pontiac and then in the suburbs of Rochester Hills, a place that felt both safe and suffocating. When I was only 5 years old, everything shattered. My mother was diagnosed with breast cancer while pregnant with my youngest sister Melanie. I remember her changing. She became quieter, weaker, her skin pale. On December 1, 1963, at just 30 years old, she died. I didn't fully understand death, but I felt the absence like a hole in my chest. The house went silent. My father, devastated, threw himself into work and religion. We prayed constantly. I started performing little shows for my siblings just to bring some light back into the room. I became the sissy of the family, using my charm and femininity to get what I wanted because crying for mom didn't work. 3 years later, in 1966, Dad married our housekeeper, Joan Gustafson. She was kind, but to me she was the intruder who took mom's place. I resented him for years. That resentment became fuel. I threw myself into dance classes, ballet, jazz, tap, and piano lessons. At Rochester Adams High School I was a straight A student, cheerleader, and the girl who never quite fit in. My ballet teacher, Christopher Flynn, became my mentor. He took me to gay discos in Detroit, opened my eyes to a world of freedom and self-expression I'd never known in our strict Catholic home. I felt alive there. Dance wasn't just a hobby, it was my escape, my voice when words failed. In 1976 I won a dance scholarship to the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. I studied ballet and modern dance, sharing a tiny room with roommate Whitley Hill. We practiced for hours, rolling on the floor to Bach, pushing our bodies to the limit. But college felt too small. I wanted the world. After 2 years, encouraged by Flynn, I dropped out and moved to New York City in July 1978 with only $35 in my pocket, a suitcase, and a winter coat. I was 19, terrified, and unstoppable. New York hit me like a brick wall. I studied with the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater and Pearl Lang. I lived in an abandoned synagogue in Queens with musician Dan Gilroy and his brother. We slept on mattresses on the floor, the heat barely worked. I joined Dan's band, Breakfast Club, playing drums and guitar, singing backup. We rehearsed in the basement. I was raw, hungry, and bold. When the crowd started cheering more for my voice than Dan's, tension exploded. I left the band and, with my old Michigan boyfriend Stephen Bray, formed Emmy. We recorded demos in the music building, hustling every club owner and DJ we could find. I worked as a waitress, coat check girl, and even posed nude for art classes just to pay rent. Winters were brutal, one of the coldest on record, and I remember curling up in a fetal position in a freezing apartment, wondering if I should go home to Detroit. But I didn't. I kept going. In 1982 I met DJ Mark Kamins at Danceteria. He played my demo of Everybody, and the dance floor went crazy. Seymour Stein from Sire Records signed me from his hospital bed after hearing it. My self-titled debut album dropped in 1983 with Holiday and Borderline. Then came the explosion, Like a Virgin in 1984. The title track and that infamous MTV Video Music Awards performance in the wedding dress, rolling on the floor, clutching my boy toy belt, shocked the world. Critics called me vulgar. Parents were horrified. I didn't care. I was rewriting the rules. From there, every album was a reinvention. True Blue, 1986, showed my romantic side with Papa Don't Preach and La Isla Bonita. Like a Prayer, 1989, mixed gospel, sex, and controversy. The video with burning crosses and Black Jesus caused Pepsi to drop me, but the album sold millions. Erotica and the Sex Book pushed boundaries further. Ray of Light, 1998, brought spiritual electronica after my daughter Lourdes was born. Confessions on a Dance Floor, 2005, returned me to pure club glory with Hung Up. I toured the globe, Blonde Ambition with the Cone Bra, The Girly Show, Sticky and Sweet, MDNA, Rebel Heart, Madam XI became the first woman to headline a Super Bowl halftime show. I acted in films, Desperately Seeking Susan, Evita, Golden Globe winner, Dick Tracy. I've sold over 300 million records, earned dozens of #1 hits, and changed pop music forever. Before me, female artists were often packaged as cute or sexy. I demanded control. I blended dance, pop, and underground club sounds into mainstream gold. I made music videos an art form. I talked about sex, power, feminism, and faith without apology. I opened doors for every girl who wanted to be unapologetically herself. My fans, my Madonna army, stood by me through every scandal, every reinvention. Personal life was a roller coaster too. Marriage to Sean Penn, 1985 to 1989, was passionate and stormy. I had Lords with Carlos Leon in 1996, Rocco with Guy Ritchie, married 2000 to 2008, and adopted David, Mercy, Stella, and Asteri from Malawi. 6 beautiful children who traveled the world with me. I brought them on stage during the Celebration Tour. In 2023-2024 the tour ended in Rio with 1.6 million people, the largest free concert ever. Now, in 2026, Confessions 2 is coming, a sequel 20 years in the making, with new singles already dominating charts and a collaboration with Sabrina Carpenter lighting up Coachella. Looking back, the little girl who lost her mother at 5, who felt invisible in a Catholic suburb, who arrived in New York broke and freezing, never stopped believing. Every heartbreak, every rejection, every tabloid headline became part of the story. I didn't just survive, I turned pain into power, rules into rebellion, and music into a movement. You, my fans, are the reason I keep going. You danced with me through every era. You understood that being a material girl was never about money, it was about owning your worth. So here I am, still evolving, still provocative, still dancing. Because the fire my mother left inside me never went out. It only grew brighter. Thank you for letting me tell my story. Now turn up the volume, feel the beat, and let's keep breaking every rule together. The Queen of Pop is far from finished. Let's dance.
One beat and we own everything. Oh, oh, let it glow. Oh, let it go. Watch me rise. Here we go. Move with me. Mirror for I am. Move with me. Don't you deny it. Hands up, wild and free. Say my name, say it loud. Move with me. I'm taking this crowd.